So I've just got hold of this new pound coin. We have a new pound coin being introduced in 2017, and the new pound coin replaces the old one, which I'll just show you now. So this is the latest design of the old specification coin. It was introduced in April 1983. It's nickel brass, 22.5mm diameter, 9.5 grams, and this was introduced to replace the pound notes. Now, banknotes don't last as long as coins. In fact, typically the pound note rather would have lasted about 6 months at the most before it needed to be replaced. Coins last longer. They're cost a bit more to produce, but they last longer. For example, you'll still find original 1983 pound coins in your change every single day. They're really common. There's millions of them out there. So they decided it was much more economical to go from those pound notes to a pound coin, and that's why they introduced this. It's quite a thick coin. It's the thickest coin that's currently circulating in the UK, and if you notice that it has a milled edge. Now, the thing about milled edges, they were introduced many years ago when coins used to be made of precious metals, and people would scrape off some of the precious metal before they spend the coin. That way they can basically steal gold and silver. Now, coins these days are, if you pass that coin on, people would see that you'd taken it, because if that milled edge isn't there, then obviously you've tampered with the coin. But these days it's not really important, because these new coins are made of cheap metals. They're worthless really, but it's still quite useful to have that milled edge for visually impaired people. The euro currency is a great example. Every single euro coin has a different edge essentially, so you can tell a euro coin from feel. You don't need to actually really look at it, so it's still a useful thing to have in coins. And you'll notice as well the edge inscription here. There's a Latin inscription, and it's I'm bad at pronouncing these things because I don't speak Latin, but it's Ducus et Tatermen. I don't know, but the funny thing about that, I think, is that what that phrase actually means is an ornament and a safeguard. So what it's basically saying is this text is just here for decoration and to protect the coin. So I think somebody's having a laugh that day. Anyway, so we'll go back to this coin now. So the reason that we've gone for this new coin is because the old coin is really easy to copy. In fact, I have one here. This is a fake. Most people would look at this in a day, and in fact they probably wouldn't even look at it. They would just see it was a pound coin and accept it. But it's actually a fake, and if you look on the edge here, you can see there's a real lack of definition in the coin. But they only really need to be convincing enough for someone to take it from you. Once it's gone, it doesn't really matter if it's good quality or not. So these coins were really easy to copy. In fact, I remember a story of a guy that was producing 10,000 a day in his shed, and that's how easy it was. And it's got to the point where 1 in 30 pound coins is fake, and it's kind of got to the point where it erodes the faith that people have in the currency. So they've introduced this new coin, and it's got a number of features that will make it harder to copy. For a start, it's 12-sided, which is a kind of throwback to the old 3p threepenny bit. You'll see that on the edges it's 12 sides. Each of these, by the way, are milled intermittently, so one part is milled and the next part is smooth. I don't know how well you can see that. So that's the first thing that's different about it. Everything you can do to make this coin more difficult to copy is more of an incentive not to bother for the people that would plan to do it. Bear in mind it's only worth £1, so if you're going to a load of effort to make a fake pound coin, you may as well just get a job. What's the point? So that's the first thing. The second thing is it's bimetallic, so that's like the £2 coin here, which is also bimetallic. So it's actually made of 2 different metals. Now, that's harder to do. In fact, it's quite difficult to make a coin out of 2 metals like that without the specialist equipment, but it is kind of still possible, because, as I say, you only really need to make it look convincing the first time you spend it. So I have had a couple of fake £2 coins, and basically they were made out of 1 piece of metal, and they would just coat or plate the edge of the coin with a kind of more golden colour, and that scratches and chips off really quickly, but at first it would look reasonably convincing to most people. So you do get fake £2 coins, but they're a lot less common. So the next security feature that's quite interesting is, I don't know if you can see this here, but down at the bottom there's almost like a hologram effect, and this is done using really fine metal work. And I don't know if I can get the pound symbol to show up because it's quite difficult when you don't have it in person. But basically it goes from a pound symbol to a 1. That will be really, really difficult for people to copy, and it will be quite noticeable if you do actually take a second to look at the coin. If that is not right, you're going to notice that straight away. But also, in addition to that, I don't know if you can see just around the edges here, it looks like almost like there's a series of dots, but this is actually text. It's very fine lettering, I can barely read it with my own eyes. And on the obverse side, which is the head side, it says £1, and on the reverse it's the year of minting. So that again will just, it will be almost impossible for someone to make that in their garage. It's really, really, really fine metal work, and when you have a coin like this where they can barely get this text to look sharp, you know, you'd have no chance. So that's some of the security features, but it does have one more trick. Now, when the Royal Mint first announced this coin, they were talking about this ISIS technology that they were putting in the coin. It's fantastic ISIS technology, it's going to save us all. And then, funnily enough, they stopped talking about ISIS technology because, well, it became a bit of an unfashionable acronym. But what it stood for was Integrated Secure Identification System. Now, they don't really talk about it because they don't want people to know what it is or how it works. And there was always this kind of talk that it might be some kind of wireless technology, which is, I don't see how you could do that on a metal coin. But it turns out, from reading something on a Telegraph, it looks as though that they've produced some kind of coating that reacts to certain frequencies of ultraviolet light. So I don't know where they got that information and whether it's true or not, but that's certainly what the Telegraph thinks is happening, and you know, who knows. But the Royal Mint really don't want to talk about the specifics of it because, well, for obvious reasons, they don't want people to be able to fake it. So that's the new pound coin. The reverse design here was designed, actually, there was a kind of competition, 6,000 people entered, and it was actually a kid who was 15 at the time. He'll be older than that now, but his name was David Pierce, so he designed this. It's got like a crown with all the different kind of like plants, vegetables of the constituent countries in the UK. So it's a fairly interesting design. I'm not a fan of the monarchy, but so I mean, British coins I'm kind of two minds about anyway, but certainly as a design, it's quite modern, it looks quite interesting, so yeah, it's not bad. Now, you might notice as well that it actually says 2016 in it, which might confuse you because surely these were 2017 coins because they're released in 2017. And you may think as well that that's actually just because it was minted last year. It's actually quite interesting because it's really, well, it might not be interesting, who knows, but anyway, if you've got this far, it's probably interesting. The dies that they used to press these coins, the dies don't last forever, they crack eventually and they need to be disposed of, so the Royal Mint will make enough for what they think they need for a year. And if these dies should crack early, they might start minting 2017 coins in 2016. Similarly, if they don't break, if they last them quite well, they might continue minting coins from 2016 into 2017. They don't just throw them out. So the year that's on a coin doesn't really tell you a whole lot other than it was intended to be minted in 2016 or whichever year it happens to be. So don't really know. Don't really think there's much more I can say about it. That's the new pound coin. They're difficult to get hold of just now. There's only a few banks that have basically got stock of them, and I actually had to open a bank account with a bank that I don't bank with just to get a hold of these, so that was interesting. But I wanted to get a hold of them early just to have a wee look at them. I'm a bit of a geek, so love to be the first to see new things. But that's the new pound coin, and I think that's about everything you need to know about it.